Hello everybody, how are you? Just cozied up, just had a massage, so I'm a bit, you know that feeling when you've just been, so good, so needed that. It's a little gift from my neighbour and I'm so grateful. She said, I think your nervous system's a bit more settled now, and I went, yeah, me too. Anyway, I was reading something this morning and I went, oh, this is really interesting. I'm going to bring this to my people. So, as you know, I've been talking a little bit about how I have been doing a bit of work on the interior castle by St. Teresa of Avila. I forgot to prefix her name with a saint. It's important. Who was an incredible mystic that lived through the Spanish Inquisition. I mean, that must have been a time. Anyway, Myss did her version of a kind of a translation. She called it Entering the Castle, Finding the Inner Path to God and Your Soul's Purpose. And, you know, for those of us who, you know, might not like the God word, we can replace it with higher power, divine, universe, whatever you like, okay? But it's just accepting that there's a higher power than you. And if this pandemic has taught you anything, let it be that, okay? Anyway, here is just something that I read this morning, which I just thought was really interesting. And I just thought I'd bring it to you and just kind of leave it there and just see what you thought. I certainly found it kind of, you know, just made sense to me. I do feel, well, I read it first and then we can have a bit of a chat. I'll have a bit of a chat, actually. You can join in the comments. Anyway, to a mystic, chaos. Well, she talks about the word chaos and how it's derived from the Greek chaos and typically refers to a state of unorganization. In a metaphysical sense, it's the opposite of order, okay? Got a bit of chaos, quite a lot of order. You know, we've kind of got both at the moment going on. But anyway, to a mystic, this is from Myss, chaos is an organic expression of the divine. The ancients believed that omens and visions emerged from chaos. Divine chaos cannot be stopped, manipulated, postponed, or bargained with. It is an impersonal, yet very intimate force of seduction. It sweeps into your life, taking charge of your life path and redirecting you according to its own plan, not yours. You can perceive chaotic changes as cruel, unfair, or undeserved, or you can perceive them as benevolent, since chaos can bring death and life, endings and beginnings. For the divine, death is a part of life, not a tragedy. Life and death are one and the same. Yet even though what happens to our bodies is impersonal in the cosmic sense, to the divine, what happens to our souls is a matter of divine intimacy. Just leaving that there. Yeah. You know, I do feel like, for me, and listen, this is probably because of my own circumstances, but certainly as a mother, I mean, there's plenty to worry about, etc., etc., etc. And having been confronted with, you know, seeing death quite upfront and personal, as I've talked before, for myself and one of my children, actually, you are less afraid of it, okay? You're more able to accept it as a part of life. and not make up all these stories about what it is and how it needs to be controlled. It's an inevitability for us all. And when I was reading that passage, and this often has come to me, certainly through my life coach training, and I have talked about this before, but we were taken to the work and shown the work and explore the work by Byron Katie, which is also called The Work. And she has this question. A lot of what Byron Katie does as a spiritual teacher, read her story if you want to kind of see it. But anyway, a lot of what she talks about is sort of always questioning, always leaning in and getting curious, questioning our thoughts, just that critical thinking that kind of goes on, that reflective thinking, where does that come from? Is it mine? Is it inherited? Is it the collectives? What is it? Some of us just automatically assume or thought, oh yeah, it's mine and I've got to deal with it. There's not this sort of discernment that takes place. Anyway, this is just a little ditty. And I just want you to kind of imagine that we change some of those, the questionings. But here we go. It's whose business are you in? Notice when you hurt, so you are suffering, that you are mentally out of your business, okay? If you're not sure, stop and ask, mentally, whose business am I in? There are only 3 kinds of business in the universe: mine, yours, and God's. Whose business is it if an earthquake happens? God's business. Whose business is it if your neighbor down the street has, an unclipped, messy lawn? It's your neighbor's business. Whose business is it if you are frustrated and angry at your neighbor down the street because he has a messy lawn? It's your business, okay? It's that simple. So just like at the moment, right, okay, let's take it. Whose business is it if we have a pandemic right now? It's God's business. Whose business is it if your neighbor down the street is choosing not to have the vaccine or have the vaccine? It's your neighbor's business. Whose business is it if you are angry at your neighbor for having the vaccine or not having the vaccine? It's your business, okay? Get clear on whose business you are in, because especially mothers, God, meddling mothers is just sort of, can be part of it. We're in everybody's business trying to control because we're frightened of our babies getting hurt. Let me tell you, it's not our business. I had my son recently just got his motorbike license. I can't tell you how many people go, literally like that. And I was like, listen, Finley was a glider pilot at 15. He was flying on his own at 15, 16, okay? Up in the sky in a wee glider at 15. I had to overcome all of my fears, let me tell you, at that point. The fact that he's now on a motorbike is by the by. It's his business. It's his business. Whatever happens, if anything happens, and, I have grief or pain or struggle or whatever, that's my business. Do I need to suffocate Finley so he can't enjoy his life? No, not my business. It's his business. If something happens out in the great big world, it's God's business. It's not my business. It wasn't because I wasn't telling him to be careful or drive carefully or, trying to manage all the drivers on the road. None of my business. None of my business. And this is where we kind of were hustling with death, the Grim Reaper going, please, don't. As my girlfriend said today, I was having a chat, she said, God, our children are so wise. She said, I was asking my son about COVID and the deaths and how he felt. And he said, well, to be honest, Mum, if it's if it's their time to go and they're choosing to go with COVID, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. you know, if it's your time to go, it'll be COVID, it'll be a car accident, it'll be cancer, it'll be whatever. Okay? So the fear that's sort of, you know, overwhelming us is just around the fear of death, which cannot be controlled. It's already been worked out. I hate to tell you. It's been worked out. That's God's business. That's God's business. Okay? It's not our business. We can't manage it. That's the chaos. That's the chaos that we're really all, you know, in this space of struggling with, or not struggling with, as some people may be. Some people are, you know, I've got a girlfriend who's like, I am just off social media. I'm out in nature all the time at the moment. Yeah, good on you. Who needs this? Be in your own business. Be in your own business, okay? Look after yourself so that you can be a more loving and supportive citizen in the world, okay? That's all. That's all. Be the best version you can be right now. That's all. That's your business. That's your business. How can I behave in a kind, compassionate way to the people around me? Okay? Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, sending you lots of love as always.